G'day everybody, hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Prawny here, just doing a little bit of prep for this week's shows. Don't forget we are back tomorrow live on starterfm.com.au on the iHeartRadio platform, and tune in as well between 7 and 9 a.m. We do that Monday to Friday, bringing you my take on the day's news and of course all the politics. One thing that caught my attention today, something I'm working on, is the story of James McGrath, the senior Liberal senator who was re-elected. He's one of the grassroots campaigners for the Liberals. He's a Conservative to his bootstraps. Before he entered Parliament, he was at various times Deputy Director of the Liberals federally. He's worked for the LNP in Queensland and for the Country Liberals in the Northern Territory. But he's also worked on election campaigns for the Conservatives in the United Kingdom. So, as I say, Conservative to the bootstraps. Now, he's unleashed over the weekend saying that, well, in his opinion, the Libs are cooked. Wow, could anything be more cooked, undercooked than a Scott Morrison curry? Well, at least something's cooked, and that's the Liberals. He told the newspapers over the weekend that, in his opinion, the biggest issue facing Peter Dutton isn't net zero or climate change. The biggest issue facing incoming leader, don't forget Peter Dutton's expected to be announced tomorrow or voted in tomorrow as the new leader of the Federal Liberal Party and will lead the opposition against Anthony Albanese's government. Anyway, he says the biggest issue facing Peter Dutton is the cooked state of the Liberal Party. Are they cooked? Let me know your thoughts, 0406521250. And look, I guess, he's backed it up with some pretty solid evidence. In contrast to Queensland, where the Liberals did okay, they retained 21 of 23 seats, and they're pretty dominant in Queensland. But they hold a clear minority of seats in New South Wales and Victoria. Victoria's the worst, and apparently there is widespread anger across the Liberal Party in these states at the dysfunctional way in particular that New South Wales handled its pre-selections. I remember a couple of weeks ago talking about it on the program. I mean, the Liberals didn't put up their candidates till, the 11th hour, not giving them enough time, I guess, to gain any traction or even hit the ground running in the seats that they were running for. And if you look at the situation in Victoria, the Libs were reduced to 8. Yes, only 8 out of 39 seats after they lost a couple to the Teals and 2 as well to the Labor Party in last weekend's election. Anyway, this Senator McGrath says the number one priority for the new opposition must be a reform in their campaigning capability from the ground up. This intervention comes ahead of course, a whole stack of meetings tomorrow and the fact that the Liberals will elect, I would imagine unopposed, Peter Dutton as leader of the Federal Liberal Party. Now, the Nationals. Well, we learned over the weekend, I put something on Facebook about this as well, the National Party leader, Barnaby Joyce, old beetroot face, is facing a challenge from Deputy Leader David Littleproud. He announced yesterday, Saturday, that he would nominate. And Victorian MP Darren Chester, who was dumped as a minister under Mr. Joyce, he also is nominating. So there are 2 of them. Now, a couple of MPs from the Nationals who've spoken over the weekend basically expect that Barnaby Joyce will hold the job. But as to who will be his new deputy, well, I would imagine it probably will be David Littleproud. Anyway, some suspect that Darren Chester put his hand up in the hope of flushing out another candidate. I do not believe that David Littleproud will lead the National Party. I think Barnaby Joyce, given that they didn't lose any seats during the election, I imagine he will continue as leader of the Nationals. What say you? Let me know on the Facebook page, Marcus Paul in the Morning. Don't forget on YouTube as well, we're up there. I've decided to try a little different format today. I hope it's a little better visibly. The Prawncast, the podcast is up there on your favourite podcast platform. Listen back to all of the content on the program. We're also on Twitter, the handle there, @MP in the Morning. I'll catch you tomorrow between 7 and 9, right around Australia here on Starter FM. All the news and your views from the Facebook page.